The setting was the world's most expensive restaurant. It was known for its exclusivity and its silence. In the center of the room sat Lucas Mendoza, the titan of Pharma. He was a cold-driven man who commanded billions. He wore a perfect custom-tailored Armani suit worth $10,000 alone. He was completely unaware that he was about to eat a soup that would kill him instantly. It was a perfect plan. A shy waitress named Maya Silva approached his table. She carried the steaming bowl of lobster bisque. She moved with a strange, nervous hesitancy. Then her foot seemed to catch. She appeared to trip with impossible clumsiness. The plate shattered with a high-pitched sound. Hot, bright red liquid soaked Lucas's entire front. It ruined the Armani fabric instantly. The billionaire was completely drenched. Lucas roared. His face was a mask of furious crimson. He jumped from his seat, scattering his chair backward. He wanted her fired. He wanted her ruined. The entire five-star restaurant fell silent, all eyes on the furious titan and the trembling girl. But it was no accident. This chaotic, clumsy mistake was a calculated act of pure desperation. The shy waitress had just risked everything she had built. She risked her job, her freedom, and perhaps her life. Lucas didn't know it, but this moment of humiliation was his salvation. He was furious at the loss of his expensive garment. She was focused only on the preservation of his life. But why would a shy waitress save a man she clearly despised? The manager tried to drag Maya away, promising her immediate termination. Lucas stopped him with a single, sharp word. He was blinded by rage, but something didn't feel right. Her wide, desperate eyes held a strange, unexpected defiance. It wasn't the look of a clumsy servant. It was the look of a soldier caught behind enemy lines. Lucas demanded she serve his next course. He forced her to stay. It was a bizarre, humiliating punishment. He waited until the commotion died down. Then he ushered her into a private, soundproof booth. He peeled off his soaking jacket. "You have no idea what you've done," he hissed. "This is a career-ending offense." He leaned across the table. "I watched your reflection in the glass panel. You did not trip. You deliberately tilted the tray. You did that on purpose." Maya remained silent. She stood rigid, her hands folded tight. She knew she was caught. Lucas offered her $10,000 cash to simply confess the prank. He assumed she was trying to sell a story to the tabloids. He was completely wrong about her motives. Maya finally broke. She leaned in close. Her voice was barely a whisper, filled with urgent sincerity. "I saw the sommelier. I saw him put a whitish powder into your soup bowl just before he handed it to me." Lucas froze solid. Poison. A sophisticated corporate assassination attempt. The air left his lungs. "And how would a waitress know the difference between a garnish and a poison?" he demanded. Her reply was a seismic shock that changed his reality forever. "I have a postgraduate degree in pharmaceutical chemistry," she stated, her voice now steady. "I recognize the compound's effect on the broth's surface tension." Lucas's mind reeled. His expensive suit was now irrelevant. His life had just been saved by a stranger who was clearly much more than she seemed. He immediately put his head of security, Gustavo, on the case. He gave the name Maya Silva. He told Gustavo to find out everything. The investigation revealed the staggering, impossible truth. Lucas's security team found her old university transcripts. The shy waitress was actually the brilliant scientist, Dr. Maya Silva. She was the original researcher who wrote the groundbreaking formula for Menovax. This was the life-saving drug that had built Lucas's billion-dollar pharmaceutical empire, Pharma. Lucas realized he hadn't created the drug. He had simply bought a bankrupt company years ago. In the archives, he had unknowingly stolen her original research notes. He took the credit, the fame, and the fortune. Lucas discovered the rest of Maya's double life. She wasn't working as a waitress for pocket money. She was pooling her tips to fund a secret clinic in the city's poorest district. She was treating children with the rare, debilitating syndrome that Menovax cured. She was giving away her drug for free to the poor patients who could not afford the exorbitant price Lucas was charging. The money, the fame, the power. It was all built on this woman's work, and he was killing her dreams with every expensive dose he sold. Lucas found her at the clinic that night. He watched her gently tend to a young girl, weak from the exact degenerative disease that had almost killed his own mother. The weight of his accidental crime hit him like a physical blow. The empire he was so proud of was a house of cards built on a stolen legacy. He realized he was the one who truly knew the price of everything, but the value of nothing. Maya confronted him. She revealed the poisoning was connected to his lab and her stolen research. The culprit was Eduardo Breto. Eduardo was Lucas's co-founder and most trusted financial director. But Eduardo had been the former company manager who had stolen Maya's research years ago. He had erased her name and sold the rights to Lucas's company when it went bankrupt. Now, Eduardo saw the chance to eliminate Lucas, take the company, and steal Maya's new, expanded formula application. Lucas and Maya became temporary, reluctant allies. They had a singular mission. They had to retrieve the original formula from the high-security lab to stop Eduardo before the corporate takeover was finalized. They had a window of only a few hours. The scientist who saved his life now teamed up with the man who stole her life's work. Lucas felt a new kind of fear. It wasn't fear of death. It was the fear of letting Eduardo win and corrupting the life-saving work forever. They used Lucas's secret emergency codes to access the deepest level of the lab. They raced against a self-destruct timer on the security system. They were minutes away from copying the original formula onto a small flash drive. Suddenly, the lab door burst open. It was Eduardo. He was impeccably dressed and utterly calm. He was holding a small pistol. Eduardo smiled coldly. He confessed to the poisoning and the entire corporate coup. He knew they had cracked his scheme. He pointed the gun straight at Maya's chest. She was the one who could expose the 15-year conspiracy. Lucas had a fraction of a second to choose. Save himself, or save the innocent woman. The ruthless, arrogant billionaire was gone. Without hesitation, Lucas screamed and threw his body directly in front of Maya. The shot echoed deafeningly in the sterile room. Lucas felt a sharp, burning pain as the bullet slammed into his shoulder. He staggered backward, collapsing against Maya. He had taken the bullet for the woman he had wronged. Then chaos erupted. Gustavo and Rafael, Maya's security ally, burst in with federal police. Eduardo was disarmed and arrested immediately. Lucas lay on the cold floor, his vision blurring. He was alive, but gravely wounded. He was still clinging to the flash drive. Lucas recovered in the hospital. The bullet was painful, but the truth had set him free. He realized that saving her, correcting the wrong, was more important than all the profits in the world. He used his last shred of authority to call a massive, worldwide press conference. He stood before the cameras with his arm in a sling. He publicly admitted the truth about Menovax. He credited Dr. Maya Silva as the true original inventor. He apologized for his unwitting role in perpetuating the theft. Maya was named the new chief scientific officer. The drug prices were immediately slashed. It was now accessible worldwide, fulfilling Maya's original dream. The shy waitress was gone forever. The brilliant, confident scientist had taken her rightful place. She had saved his life, his company, and his soul. Years later, Lucas walked down an aisle. He waited nervously at the end for his partner. He was ready for the most important merger of his career. He married his brilliant scientist, the woman who risked everything by spilling soup on him. They built a new company, a better life, together. A single act of defiance saved his life, but that unexpected partnership saved his future. It was a story built on science, betrayal, and a love forged in the fire of attempted murder.